All right. Well, welcome out, everybody. So, my goal tonight is to give you guys as much value as humanly possible. We're going to be covering some basis of, yes, how to burn fat, how to add lean muscle mass, but more importantly, kind of how to navigate through the holiday season. Honestly, this is the best time of year to shred up and get in shape and get a head start. We got 7 weeks to 2026. So, I want to go through some key areas here and maybe have a couple of you guys share. This would be good. So we're talking busy parent masterclass, redefining what busy parents are capable of, and how to transform your physique in 3 hours a week. It's pretty catchy, I feel like, right? What do you guys think? Transform your physique 3 hours a week? Maybe for Sean, he needs an extra half an hour. It just depends on if first you park because in the car's there. Just kidding, Sean. You're great. Excited to hear from you. So here's what the deal is. 99% of busy parents aiming to lose 20 pounds of fat while adding lean muscle. They don't need to work harder, right? That's always the case. That's always the situation, right? Put a fire emoji in the chat if you've heard that. Yeah, as long as you work hard, you're going to see the results, right? Well, quite contrary, right? They just need a better plan.
Don't
So
talk to me about
we're going to be talking about that better plan, and what that's going to look like is, well, I'll break it down here in just a second, but people who've had personal trainers in the past, maybe they followed advice from their doctor, maybe their favorite TikToker. That's why we built the Ignite method, okay? Which we know and believe to be the most sustainable chance for success to balance your hormones, respark the metabolism, and we're talking a lot about that. Because what we need to do is we need to flip the metabolism to burn body fat as fuel instead of the foods that you eat. Okay. Even if you've tried the keto and the carnivore, the boot camps, the diet pills, or injections, okay, I also want to explain why blindly restricting your carbs and doing hours of cardio and CrossFit is the same reason that you're not seeing any progress. So if you guys are inside the program already, you know that that is the antithesis of what we teach. We don't want any of that. And why most nutritionist trainers and your favorite boot camp classes, more than likely, it's going to continue to fail you on your fitness journey. And if you are really chasing a long-term sustainable habit changes, yes, could you lose some weight and some pounds on keto and carnivore? Absolutely. But a lot of it's going to be water weight because there's 4 grams of water in every 1 gram of carbohydrate. So when you cut out carbs completely and you notice all this weight come pouring off, it's really not body fat. Okay. It's a lot of muscle. It's a lot of muscle because there's your muscles make up 60, 70% of water. So I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what you need to know right now in order to reach your goals and sustain them, especially through the busy holiday season, and an approach that actually fits your schedule, lifestyle, and body changes, right? Because let's just call it what it is. Nobody here is 22, 23. Well, unless Trevor decides to join, okay, he can give us a roundup of what it's like to be 22 years old. So that's why we take this science-driven approach, okay, to work smart, not just hard, and avoid the risks of serious medical issues and diseases, okay? So we'll share how we're helping busy parents lose 20, 30 pounds in 6 months consistently, improve their metabolism and sculpt lean muscle. And the ultimate goal is to get healthier, right? Because who cares if you look the most amazing, but you're not doing it at a healthy level. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And again, Alice and I, we are fat kids at heart. We love our chocolates, our cakes, our dessert. This is honestly my favorite time of year because of all the food. But you have to find a way to do it and still enjoy all those things, and without spending 2 hours in the gym, or those intense cortisol spiking workouts that just honestly they leave you exhausted. So we don't want to be following any unrealistic advice that doesn't suit busy parents. And so we're going to break that down exactly how we do it. Because let's call it what it is. Like you deserve to look the way you want to in the mirror, wake up with pride, alive, energized, with consistent results. Because a lot of people, you're putting in the work, but maybe you're not seeing the results. So if you're ready for lasting change, maybe you've tried everything out there, or you just want to take your health and fitness to the next level, life's maybe getting in the way, or you just don't know what the heck to do. Here's the question. What is pursuing the same goal without the results that you're looking for is costing you? Maybe not monetarily, okay, but the time, the headaches, and the frustration. So we're going to break some of that down. And it's why we built a shortcut. Okay. So if you want to change your life, it starts with YOU. And that was ground zero for us. So a little bit of our story. Some of you guys know it, maybe some of you don't. What qualifies us to serve you and to add value and to teach? Well, we've been in health and fitness for over a decade now. You could see maybe we didn't practice what we preached. Our son's only 4 years old, and that was a picture when he was maybe about 2 months old. So even though we knew, quote unquote, what we were talking about, putting into practice as busy parents became very different and challenging. And so we've had the opportunity and the blessing to help hundreds of busy parents. You can see a couple of our Live 10 Fit Club alumni. We've got a couple that are going to be on here sharing, which is going to be amazing. But been blessed to be featured in some publications as of late, which is absolutely phenomenal. And we truly do what we do so that we could live long, healthy lifestyles for our kids. So, jumping right into our first case study, Miss Danielle. And Danielle, I'll have you chime in here in a little bit, but just to kind of set the stage, her and her one-two punch, her husband, Auden, right here, I think combined you guys are down 50, 60 pounds, which is absolutely incredible. But a little bit about Danielle's background. So she'll tell you she definitely had maybe not a lifelong struggle, but certainly it had been over a decade from early on in her military career. And as a new mom, trying to balance the demands of life and everything else, could definitely get swept up in the noise of what she should be doing and what she should not, right? So, I know when her and I first chatted, she could just feel like her body and her health were just probably not at the ideal level. Family history of maybe not the healthiest option. So we put together a plan for leveraging what we're going to talk about, working out 3 to 4 hours a week, 30 to 40 minutes, well-balanced diet. I think she started at 156. Now I think she posted the other day about 129 pounds. Absolutely amazing in about 6 months. And not to be outdone by her counterpart. Adam had some catching up to do. And Adam was already, quote unquote, fit and in shape, but his body just didn't match. And so what's really cool is even though he's a high performing dad, successful career in the military, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, I think he's a black belt, if I'm not mistaken. You have to correct me, bro. We didn't just jump right into keto and carnivore, right? We taught him macros. We taught him a routine and a schedule and a protocol that actually worked. So, Adam and Danielle, I would love for you guys to pop on for just a couple minutes and say hello and just walk us through your experience because it's been, I mean, very swiftly 6, 7 months since working with you guys. But hello from Hawaii. What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
I'll let my husband share first and then I'll share after.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Studley?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a black belt, so I have been in that discipline. I think going on like what 15 years. I think doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was like you said, I was also in the Marine Corps. I felt like working out. The working out part was the easy part because I enjoy it. But it's always just been like the eating. Like we ate what we thought was healthy foods because it was clean foods, but we just didn't know how much and what to eat and how I guess just how to eat really. And once we got that proper coaching from you, it just all started to just fall into place and the weight started coming off. My goals are a little bit different than my wife's, but I'm down 20 pounds now, and yeah, new PRs in running. Um, I think I shared last time I knocked 12 minutes off of a 7 mile ruck run that I did a year ago. So yeah, it's been awesome.
I love it, dude. And real quick, before I have you share, Danielle, and what would you say was, maybe the biggest adjustment? Because I think a lot of people they feel like they have to go all in, 110%, like, hey, I'm a dad, I'm successful, I've got a family, wife, kids, and like I feel like sometimes people make it bigger than it needs to be. So, I mean, did you take it as a, 100 miles an hour approach? Did you kind of just, hey, 1% better, progression over perfection? Like, what do you think kind of made it successful versus trying to have to go all in all at one time?
I think what made it successful is the fact that you don't have to deprive yourself of anything. I mean, you always get told that you can't eat this, stay away from bread, stay away, all these things that we love to eat. And it's not that you have to stay away from them. You just have to know how to prepare them and when and how to eat them. But I mean, we don't there's nothing that we don't stay away from. And we had friends visit Hawaii the other day and we went and had burgers and pizza. Like and I still dropped weight that week. So it's just no, just it's being strategic, knowing and not overthinking it. I think when you first start and you don't have a plan, you overthink it. You think you have to starve yourself, that you can only eat vegetables and chicken and fish and bland, and it's not sustainable. So once you know that it's not like that, yeah, it just makes it's motivating. It's motivating knowing that I can have like a nice sandwich with sourdough and like before that was my treat. When I would do competitions, that was my treat, like a sandwich, because I wouldn't eat bread or anything because I'm dropping all this weight to compete. Now it's like I'm walking around my competition level, so I can literally do a tournament tomorrow, and I would weigh in at my weight.
Dude, I see you posting too on Instagram, man. You looking lean, man. I wouldn't want to get caught in a dojo. Man, maybe that's not the right thing to say, but actually, I'm gonna have to pick your brain because my son just started doing jujitsu and he's all about it. So
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna have to talk, man. Okay.
oh, for sure, yeah.
That's awesome. Super proud of you, dude. Yes,
Oh, thank you.
consistency, and I love that you understand that, and that's a big piece we'll talk about here in a little bit is the mindset. Like this all or nothing restrictive diet. Like, dude, that doesn't work. Like, go
No,
enjoy the burgers and the fries and the pizza. So that's awesome, brother.
yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
no, thank
Miss Danielle, what do you got for us? Would love to hear some insights from the
Oh
female
man,
perspective, from the
I
mom
don't know
perspective.
exactly what to share because I feel like I've shared a lot of my story. I know that I shared a video on the school app. Just it was more out of just a spark of the moment of like just sharing something to encourage people. Honestly, just sharing my story. Um, as I've shared in that story before, that I actually grew up overweight. I didn't know what a good, healthy, balanced diet would look like, even in my military career. You know, you're told carnivore, paleo, all that. Like I've tried it all. Like I literally tried it all, and it honestly it didn't work for me, and it's just because I did not get the proper coaching. And I've even had couple other personal trainers before yourself and Allison, and they pretty much knew how to like work me in the gym, but they didn't know how to really coach me with nutrition. And I would always be frustrated during my weekly weigh-ins, and they're like, well, what is it that, what is different for you this week? I was like, other than doing my workouts and going to work, and I was in the Marine Corps at the time. I mean, obviously my cortisol levels were high because of just a lot of stress from work, but yeah, it it's just definitely being humbled to like learn and understand kind of how to self-discipline yourself and just follow a plan, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess, if you take a look at your schedule and balancing life and being a
Mhm.
mom and all those things, I mean, certainly that's no easy task. That's a full job in and of itself. I mean,
Oh yes.
did you find it challenging to fit the exercises and the workouts into your schedule, or like how did you kind of handle prioritizing a couple of workouts throughout the week amongst everything you had to
um
balance?
it's kind of easy for me to say that like it wasn't hard, just because I have a husband that understands. So I think when you have a partner that sort of understands like, hey, this is a priority for the both of us, not just one or the other, it does help to like sort of fit in the schedule, like kind of compromise and be like, hey, can you like just right before jumping on this call and you message me, I was in the middle of doing my workout while my husband working from home watch our son. Sometimes you have to find the happy medium. I have to like put on a TV in the garage while I'm doing my workout for my son. So to answer your question, no, I mean it wasn't too difficult to fit in the schedule. As far as the diet part goes, my husband kind of trusts me to cook everything almost. So it's fun because I get to just find ideas for inspiration and just try to go from there and still make it easy. Like I don't go for the most complicated recipe where it's not doable or just out of my league or out of my time. There's a ton of honestly a ton of great ideas on Instagram, and you see like, oh, this takes only like 15 minutes, and like, oh yeah, that's easy, I can make that. And then you start figuring it out. Sometimes I mess with the my recipe app and just on the trainerize, and I figure out, okay, like if I scan all these things, okay, I can totally make this we can eat this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's been fun, and that's where sometimes I like to post it on the school app and just say, hey, like this, hey, this is what I made. It's not hard, but it's super
Yes,
delicious.
I love it. I think I speak for everybody when we see your posts. It's like I feel like we can call you almost like the room mom of the community with all your best favorite ideas. It's so amazing. Everybody gets so much value out of it.
Yeah, no, I'm having
No,
fun with it. I'm honestly enjoying it, and I just want other people to see like this can be really fun for you too.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. Yep. And here's a couple of shots of you guys. Just, I mean, what a big difference, right? just how you guys look, and yeah, certainly happy, excited, but happy and healthy in this picture. Is that a Navy shirt I see on you?
Oh,
What is
yes,
what is?
that I'm a Naval Academy grad.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Got to support the wife. Well,
Yeah,
you guys are amazing. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank
Appreciate you guys and all that you
yeah.
do.
And next week we got to watch Navy beat Army.
Hey, there you go. All right, I won't tell my army guys that you said that. We'll shield them from this recording. You guys are amazing. Thanks for sharing so much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
y'all. Of course, of course. So pretty cool, right? You guys heard it live and direct. And here's what I like to share with people, right? Like, what are you chasing? Are you chasing the quick fix, or are you chasing a long-term sustainable plan? And I'll actually have Sean share here in a little bit. And I think everybody out there, it's the fast, quick, easy, expeditious way. Like, yeah, that's cool, that's attractive. But let's just talk about that for a second, because and I think a lot of people, they're always taught this idea, this philosophy of, cutting carbs. And drop a yes in the chat if you've ever heard that. Like, hey, you want to lose weight, you want to get in shape, you got to cut carbs. Like, go low carb diet, go keto. Like, who's heard that? Drop a yes in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Like, it's out there. And blindly cutting out carbs is probably the number one worst thing that you can do. Okay. Versus what we teach is nutrient timing. Okay. And I'll talk about how this plays into the holiday season as well. But scenario one is, if you cut out your carbs, yes, it is a quick fix. I mentioned it earlier. You're dropping a lot of water weight. Okay. But you are going to wreck your metabolism and your hormones while simultaneously doing that. So, long term or short term quick fix? You want to go sustainable or you want to go quick fix? So, if we can, instead of chopping out carbs altogether, time them properly around your workouts. Okay, so let's say your workout takes 40 minutes. If we can consume a large portion of our carbohydrates within that 2 hour window of maybe the hour and a half before your workout, an hour and a half after your workout, number one, those carbs are going to be used massively efficiently. Okay, they're going to be turned into glycogen, your body's number one favorite fuel source. And it's going to give you the energy that you need to sustain your workout and to combat the cortisol spike sometimes that your body will experience when you go no carbs. And when your body is in a cortisol state, it cannot effectively burn fat and build muscle at the same time. So we've got to keep that stress hormone at bay. Now, if you want to be purposeful in your low carb cycling and pick one day per week where you're doing nothing but high protein, high fats, amazing. Nothing wrong with that. Keep the metabolism going, right? Take off that extra water weight, maybe plan it on the day before you got to the beach. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. But just blindly saying, hey, no carbs, we're going full keto carnivore, not ideal, right? Quick fix versus sustainable. Scenario number two. Okay, who's been taught or heard, well, I got to do high intensity interval training, or I got to do hours upon hours of endless cardio. We were talking to somebody at the gym the other day, and funny enough, they just signed up with us, and she was literally saying how she comes in and she spends an hour on the treadmill before her hour strength training. You're never going to see any progress with that. Okay, because what happens is you can burn calories 100%. You're doing high intensity, if you're doing cardio, your body will burn calories. But your body burns 80% of its calories at rest. Okay, everybody's BMR, their resting metabolic rate, is a lot higher than what you typically would expect. For most people, it's somewhere around 1,500 to even as high as 2,000. So your body's going to burn these calories no matter what. So what we need to have happen is create more of a lean musculoskeletal system so that it's more expensive for your body to have those muscles present. And when those muscles are present, it's going to be creating and using the fuel that you're feeding it more optimally. Okay. So again, you're going to burn a ton of calories in the short period of time that you're doing HIIT and in the cardio sessions, but you still have 80% of your day left. I mean, think about that for a second. There's 24 hours in a day, even if you worked out, and I would never recommend somebody do a 2 hour workout. But even if you did, that's only 10% of your day, less than 10% of your day. Well, what the heck is going to be going on for the rest of the day? We need to be building lean muscle mass. If you have more lean muscle mass, again, it's more energetically expensive where your cortisol isn't, driven through the roof to help fight against the stress hormone that's being released. It can actually focus on building more muscle mass. And when you have more muscle mass, your body can actually burn more calories resting. So that's why we came up with the Ignite method. It's 3 simple steps where we address these old habits, these old myths, so to speak, in a lifestyle, right? We don't want to teach here today, gone tomorrow. We want to teach lifestyle. How do you infuse this into your life? Danielle, you said it best. Husband, working from home, watching the kid. I could get my 30, 40-minute workout in. Boom, amazing. That's lifestyle sufficient. You guys have some friends come in, visit. Awesome, amazing. You can go in and you can have the burgers and you can have the French fries. Absolutely love it. So we teach mindset transformation, not this all or nothing. Teach metabolic optimization. Okay, we talked about that a little bit. Strength training. I'm going to hit on some of the metabolic optimization as well because there's a chance, and I'll kind of offer you, if you're watching this call, if you're on, to join the Live 10 Fit Club and participate in our 5K giveaway. And real quick, I'll kind of share with everybody what's incoming. Some of you guys know, but this is really, really neat that we're just taking things to the next level because when we evaluate macros and calories and workouts and accountability and systems and all these different protocols, there's a very high level of science that is taking place beyond what's actually happening. And so we've recently partnered with some individuals and some coaches to really help dial us in with some body scan biometrics, with some blood work analytics, where there's a lot that our body can tell us based on a simple, blood evaluation test, 40, 50 different biomarkers, right? We can do everything right. And maybe we're not seeing the scale move and change and adjust, but maybe we've lowered our A1C levels. I've had 4 or 5 people over the past handful of months come to us and say, "Hey, Justin, Allison, guess what? We just stopped taking our medication." That is absolutely freaking phenomenal. And the coolest part was, I mean, whether they liked it or not, the scale didn't tip 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. It was very small minimum adjustments that they saw on the scale because you can burn 10, 15 pounds of body fat while simultaneously adding 5, 10, 15 pounds of muscle mass. And so we partner with Hume Body Pod, probably the closest technology in line with DEXA and a DEXA scan with all sorts of different biomarkers. So we've got a great relationship with them now, where we can get these below their wholesale costs, which is super awesome. So we combine that with the blood work analytics. We really have an inside picture to include peptide therapy. Okay, we're partnering with a clinic to do some peptide therapy. Some of you guys may have heard about peptide. Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan, they've been talking about it for the past handful of months. In short, without getting into too many details, peptides are short chain amino acids, right? And they already exist in our body, and these peptides aren't going to come in and mess anything up. They're just going to knock on the doors of things that need to take place for long-term longevity and health, right? So when you talk about an elite health optimization to dive deeper and fully understand what's happening, there's always a rhyme or reason behind the science. And so we're just going to take it that much farther for anybody who is in the program and who decides to join the program during our Black Friday giveaway special. It's going to be really, really spectacular, and we're excited. We've already started with a couple of people who've gotten their blood works done, and just it allows for the customized plan that we build to be so much more pinpointed to what needs to happen. Not that we ever guessed before, but there's only so much you can gather from an initial intake form and an initial consultation, right? Like there might be some underlying issues that we really need to attack. And that is our number one goal. If in the first 60 to 90 days, even if we don't see the scale move, if we can attack some of these baseline issues and your clothes are fitting better and your sleep's improving and your energy and your mood, and now that we have the advancements with what we're integrating now, it's going to be top level. Yeah, I talked about this earlier. We've had 5 clients over the last months that no longer have to take medication due to the health challenges that they were experiencing and because of implementing everything that we've been talking about. So pretty stinking cool. We're going to test, we're going to analyze, we're going to execute and improve, all designed to reach your goals with a lot more precision. So I want to see that time drop by another 12 to 15 minutes next year out in, okay? We're going to get you dialed, bro. And this is what it looks like inside the program, right? So if you're curious, obviously everybody who's already part of the program, you see this on a day-to-day basis, but whether it's the community, again, there's Danielle with her recipes. Absolutely love it. We've got the nutrition, the training protocol. We come in there, we build something from scratch to help you reach the goals versus just here's a random PDF. go follow it. Certainly, there are some basics, but we really want to dial in, like I said, the precision elements of it. So let's move on to Sean. Sean, I love Sean. Sean's great, man. Man, what a difference in those two pictures. Really stinking cool. It was funny. Sean sent me a picture. I guess they just got a Costco out where they live. He's like, bro, look at my face in my first Costco membership, and now my Costco membership, X amount of time in between. It was pretty stinking cool. He's got two toddlers, twins, I believe. And not only does he have a high performing career, but he also has his own business. So he's a business owner. And Sean's a classic story of somebody who had initially lost some weight and then plateaued, right? Who's heard of somebody, or maybe you've experienced it, where you've lost an initial 20, 30, 40 pounds or so, and then all of a sudden, right? Okay, can't get the scale moving anymore. So Sean was kind of, our test subject for that, and really came in head down, and we experienced that in the process too, Sean. So would love for you to share, man, kind of some of the things that you really found valuable in your past handful of months, almost a year now. Crazy to think, and working with us, bro. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk before the program. Over the last 10 years, I've been on a roller coaster of weight gain, weight loss, fluctuated as high as 280 down to 209, back to 250, just all over the place. Always, tried following, fitness influencers on Instagram, just, basic fitness protocol. But it wasn't until I, found Justin and Allison, got a plan together that I was really able to start seeing some great results. Over the first few months, I dropped a lot of weight, and then hit a plateau, like you said. Was hanging around there for about a month, and he goes, you should eat more, and I was like, this is contrary to anything that that I ever like read before. So increased my calories a little bit, didn't see the scale go up anymore. Actually saw it go down a little bit. And then, we were able to cut again and, see another significant amount of weight loss. But yeah, just all the things that they provided, the community, the customized nutrition plan, the customized weight plan, being there to answer any questions. There was one time I was, in a calorie deficit for 4 straight days, perfect nutrition, and I gained like half of a pound. I'm like, Justin, what is going on? Like, I'm in a calorie deficit. He's like, just have patience. And, within a matter of 2 weeks, I was probably down 4 or 5 pounds after that. So, it's just been awesome having them in my corner, guide me every step of the way.
Okay, so I want to talk about that. Thanks for sharing so far, bro. Because how many people maybe you've jumped on the scale and you've been good and dialed in with your plan, and the scale doesn't move or goes up, like you saw, Sean. And what do most people do? They starve themselves, right? They up the activity, and your body will start to go into hibernation mode. It will literally hold on to the body fat even further and even harder. And so you talk about, excuse me, performance wise, like you've got to trust the process. You know, the story of the bamboo tree, you plant a bamboo tree, that seed sits in there for 4 years. Now, okay, it didn't take us 4 years to lose 30 pounds, right? It only took us 4 or 5 months, Sean. But yeah, you have to have a very clear scientific based protocol to follow, and you can't make these swift decisions based on that scale. Okay. And truth be told, Sean, I mean, from January till, where you're at your lowest, and I know we've done, some travel and vacation stuff, but, from almost 250, down to 209, on a 1 to 10 scale, would you say that you were dialed in 10 out of 10 every single day, every single week of every single month for the past year? Or what would you say you were on a 1 to 10 scale?
Probably an 8, 7 or 8. I mean, like you
Seven
said,
or eight?
the weekend milkshake at Hershey Park, like, having fun with
Wait,
friends.
so you had milkshakes and you still lost 40 pounds? How is that possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. The plan that they provide is amazing. I'll just say that. It's just it really teaches you how to incorporate everything that you love and, not have to sacrifice a ton of stuff.
Huge,
So,
man, huge. What would you say to somebody who because I think in the online space or even just coaching in general, right? Like sometimes people there's a hesitation to maybe invest into themselves because at the end of the day, right? Like you needed to step up to the plate and make some changes, invest into yourself. Like we didn't need you to join the program. Like we were happy to have you, and we're happy to have anybody who's willing to step up to the plate. But like, maybe just overcoming that mental barrier of, man, like I haven't been able to figure it out, or I've tried it and it's worked somewhat in the past, but like fair to say this was the first time like you'd ever sought out like professional level help. Like, what would you say to somebody who's maybe on the fence with kind of that thought process?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually like reached out to some influencers like back in the day, I bought like a $150 course and it was very cookie cutter, like here's some PDFs, here's some nutrition stuff that I do, but it wasn't very personalized. And I followed a bunch of stuff. I had lost some weight, but I also gained it right back. So there was this just kind of I wouldn't call it like rock bottom, but there was a point where I just kind of made a decision where it was like, you know, if I would have, if I wanted to lose the weight and maintain, I would have done it by now. And, maybe I do need some help. So, I finally reached that point where I was like, hey, let's pay for something. Let's get a trainer. Let's actually like, walk me through this journey. And it, like you said, it's almost coming up on a year now. It's crazy. Um, but week to week, when you hit that plateau or, the scale's going up, like you have someone to talk to and like have it for me, investing in myself and having someone to talk to like that was, a game changer for just building sustainable results.
Yeah. And now you have the mindset, right? Like you have the knowledge, and that is so fleeting for so many people. There's a lot of people who aren't afraid to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and work out. They're not afraid to, eat the grilled chicken, rice, and broccoli. Although I don't remember the last time I had grilled chicken, rice, and broccoli. Okay, we smoked. Y'all see that last night? We smoked a big old turkey last night. It was good. Okay, it was delicioso. And y'all for Thanksgiving, you all need to make sure you have some pie. Okay, happens one time a year. Go have the pie. Just don't take, 9,000 calories to the dome. So speaking, thanks so much for sharing, Sean. Appreciate you, brother. And here's what's cool too. I love how you have her name there. But Ashley saw some changes in her husband and the direction that he was heading, and she's like, I need to hop on board. And so we've been helping Ash out too for the last little bit. But you guys are amazing. Appreciate y'all for sharing. And now to kind of get into the nuts and bolts here and wrapping up in the next 5, 10 minutes, the holiday busy season protocol. Okay, so if this is what you came for, take out your notes. Like this is what you need to know for these next 7 weeks. All right, and that's all it is. That's only 7 weeks. Like so many people, right, in their mind, they put, oh, it's the holidays. It's gonna be so tough. Dude, it's 7 weeks, man. That ain't that long. Yeah, it's a month and a half, almost 2 months. So the first thing we need to attack is your mentality, your mindset. Okay. So if you're taking notes, do not restrict, underline it, bold it. Well, I don't know if you can bold it if you're writing it down, but you don't want to live by this miserable diet mentality going into the season. Okay. And that also goes through for the other side. Like, don't just say F it and just, go all crazy for these next 7 weeks. And I don't want you to come in with it, well, I'll just wait till January 1st. You're going to get smoked if you have that mentality. Well, I'll wait until the new year. Because if you're a wait until the new year kind of person, you're going to be a wait until the new year in any type of facet of your life. When it comes to your job, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to being a better dad, a better husband, a better wife, a better mom. If you're pushing things off that you know you need to do, it's going to reflect in other areas of your life. So that's the first thing is we've got to snip this idea of, well, I'll do it when. If you wait for every light to turn green and you're taking a road trip from LA to New York, you ain't ever going to get in the car and go. Best time is the time you decide, right? So all that being said, enjoy the holidays, okay? With a strategy, not shame. And we were talking about it. Let's start off with what we call the 90-10 anchor. Okay, 7 weeks total. I'm going to call it the 90-10. So we'll call it 765 for short. Okay, so I want you to wrap this in your brain. If you don't take anything else from this training, okay, holiday protocol 765. We've got 7 weeks from now until January 1st. Very simple to make it through. 6 of those weeks, I want you to be super dialed in, where 5 out of those 7 days of 6 of those weeks, you're going to be on point. Okay. So what does that mean? You're going to have one screw it week. Okay. One F it week. Cool. You can have an F it week, right? Just who cares? Don't work out. Don't do anything. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Taking 1 week off is not going to absolutely obliterate your process of creating these decisions and leading. So that's the first thing, right? Like give yourself an opportunity to take a week off from the gym and not exercise that full week. Honestly, it's going to do your body very, very well. I've had Sean do that a handful of times over the past year. We just took a week off. Now, did he sit on the couch the entire time? No, he got out and he walked around, he did some cleaning, did the garage. His wife was very thankful for him for doing that. But the other 6 of those weeks, I want you to be dialed in, but you only need to be dialed in 5 of those days. Okay. That's going to give you rhythm. It's going to give you control. It's going to give you momentum and flexibility with zero guilt. Okay. So it's the perfect mix of discipline and freedom for moms and dads. And so what I mean by that is you can allow yourself with the 90-10 anchor on those 2 days outside of the 5 that you're being dialed in to have a meal. Okay. Or 2. So if you're having, 3 meals a day over the course of a week, that's, 3 times 7, that's 21. As long as you're dialed in 90% of the time, you can enjoy, 2 really good meals on, let's say, a Friday night and a Saturday night. Okay. It's not going to stunt your progress. When you wake up on Sunday morning and you see the scale go up, yes, the scale will go up. But by and large, unless you were to have eaten an extra 3,500 calories, that's how much it takes in a week to add an extra pound of true body fat, 3,500 extra calories. There's just going to be some water weight. So if you see the scale go up 5 pounds on Sunday morning, you didn't gain 5 pounds. Okay. That would have been the equivalent of eating almost an extra 20,000 calories that weekend. If you ate an extra 20,000 calories that weekend, then we have a severe problem. But the scale's going to go up because you just probably had a little bit more carbs, a little bit more water weight, a little bit more sodium retention. That's it. So if you're good 5 out of those 7 days, and you're good 6 out of those 7 weeks, you'll be golden. So here's how I'm going to talk about stacking the carbs. I'm going to talk about the party plate framework. So what we want to do when we have these outings and these opportunities and these shindigs with our family and friends, I want you to stack the carbs. Okay. So step number 1, we're going to front load the protein. Okay. Type in protein in the chat. Front load the protein. Easiest thing to do. Most challenging thing to do when you're having fun is find the protein. So type protein in the chat. Front load the protein, and then we're going to back load the fun. Okay. A little bit different than the mullet game. Party in the front, party in the back, business in front. Okay. We're going to business in the front, party in the back. We're going to backload the fun. So your go-to rule, morning and afternoon, proteins, vegetables, high fiber. Evenings, save your carbs and your fats, AKA the fun foods, for those outings, for those turkeys, for those pies, for all those casseroles. Here's why that works. Okay. It's going to stabilize your hunger if you front load the protein earlier on in the day. It's going to keep you fuller. Okay. It's going to reduce your cravings versus if you start with the fun, if you start with all the carbs and the fats and all the fun foods, it's going to jack up your cortisol. It's going to jack up your blood sugar. It's really going to put this hunger, this unsatiating feeling that you're going to be chasing the rest of the day. So we have to prevent the party binges by stacking the protein and the veggies and the fiber earlier on in the day. That's why it works. So now when you are enjoying the fun, I want you guys to use the party plate framework. All right. So when you're there and all the good, fun table dishes are all laid out, okay, I want you to scan the table. We had Friendsgiving last night. Okay. I literally implemented all these tools. It was amazing. So I scanned the table and I built my base. Big helping of that smoked turkey, tons and tons of protein. Okay. Then I started to pile on the carbs, and I piled on a ton of carbs. Okay. But I also chose certain carbs versus other carbs. And what I did was I went back and I returned not for all of it, but for my 1 or 2 favorite things. Okay. And then when it comes to desserts, here's the dessert rule. Okay. We have the 3-to-1 rule. 3-to-1. Write that down. 3-to-1 bite. So you can pick either 3 desserts and you have to stop after 3 bites because most desserts, let's call it what it is, whether it's pie or ice cream or your favorite piece of pizza, the exciting, filling, fulfilling feeling that you feel typically goes away after 3 or 4 bites. So you can pick 3 desserts, just only have 3 bites if you're going to go 3 desserts, or you pick 1 dessert and you eat the whole thing. Okay. So that's how I want you to approach the dessert table. 3-to-1. You could pick 3 different desserts, right? Because let's call it what it is. There's a big spread, and you want to try the pumpkin pie and the apple pie and the pecan pie. Cool. Put a little small serving of each one of those on your plate. Don't grab a full slice of each one of those 3. Okay. Or if you're really set on pumpkin pie, great. Pick a full serving of pumpkin pie. Now, Bonus points if you go for a walk afterwards. Okay, but going for a walk afterwards is going to help the blood sugars, the insulin levels really kind of lower. It's going to help with digestion as well, especially if you are not used to eating a lot of these kinds of foods and a lot of sugars, like Alice and I are. But this is what's going to prevent overeating while letting you enjoy the fun. So, party plate framework, 90-10 anchor with stacking the carbs. You guys are going to be absolutely fire. So, wrapping up here, right? Knowledge is power. Who's heard that before? Oh, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. No, knowledge is only power if it's applied. So, I want you to ask yourself, am I tired of waking up telling myself I'm going to change, but I don't take action? All success takes is one step, not 1,000, all at once. Okay. You may not be able to see from one side of the dark, gloomy forest to the other, but you can see the 2 feet in front of you and you can take that first step. So I'd encourage you. And if this is, you're at a point where you want to take that step, here's your chance. This whole week, we're doing 30% off all of our programs. Okay. This is the last time that we're going to be discounting the promo. We had a cool article that came out, just what we've been able to do and all the people we've been able to help. So, as you can imagine, inquiries have been flooding our inbox, and the New Year's rush is right around the corner. So, rates for the program will not be this low ever again. So you get the workouts, the meals, the apps, the community, the weekly calls, check-ins, the blood work analytics, the body comp, the peptide therapy, all that good fun stuff. So we've got to limit it because Alice and I, we do not pass off the coaching. We do have Nate the Great, who's absolutely amazing. He helps with some admin stuff. But we're not one of these big box office ticket companies where you have another coach to come in and help you. Like if you need some help, if you need some one-on-one time, schedule a call, you're going to be talking with us. Okay. So we've got 20 open slots. The first 10, and I think 3 or 4 of them already taken, actually get all of December for free, okay, which is pretty neat. And anybody who decides to renew, who's currently in the program, or extend, and any new members that join the program, we're going to be giving you an opportunity for the 5K giveaway contest, okay? And this is going to be pretty lit. I know some people come in with their little giveaways, but this giveaway is going to be pretty stinking awesome. And it's going to be a getaway beach vacation for 2. And it's going to be you plus 1. Okay. So anybody who enrolls in a program and invests into themselves, not only are you going to be entered into the giveaway, but once we select who the winner is, there's plus 1 is going to get a program to get fit with them as well. Or if you don't have a plus 1, you can gift it to a family member or a friend, right? But anybody who's, maybe a husband or wife or partner spouse, we can't have you showing up to the beach looking clean and in shape and not have your plus 1 come in looking clean and in shape too. Plus, we're going to be throwing in a yearly supply of post-workout recovery drinks. So that is for anybody who, during this Black Friday, again, we've got the 20 slots. So I know a lot of you guys are sitting here on the call. As soon as those 20 slots are filled, that's it. I'm not making any exceptions. Again, there's only so many people that we want to be able to spend some time and focus in on. So if you're watching this, the recording instead of being here live, I would definitely jump on that. But if you're a busy parent, you got 3 hours a week. That's what we teach. You love carbs, you're ready to start making changes, small changes. All right, grab a spot and we'll get rocking and rolling. So I want to open up for any questions for anything that we talked about, especially the holiday protocol and stacking the carbs and the 90-10 anchor or anything that we spoke about. So first of all, was that helpful? Did you guys get some good stuff? My goal was to give as much value as humanly possible. I mean, honestly, I just wanted to have Danielle and Ed share and Sean share. Appreciate you guys, and you guys have been some impact players. But if anybody has any questions, feel free. Sam, good to see you, bro. Keep calm. What does your shirt say? Keep calm, and does it say tractor on? Is that what it says? Farm, yeah, there we go. Sam the farmer. I love it, man. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I'm gonna get rocking and rolling. The kids, here, let me do this.